On today's video, one of the biggest alliances in Nebula 14 decides to mess with the galactic geckos and found out the hard way it wasn't a good idea, as Hot sent a raiding party on one of our alliances, GG4. The galactic gecko family reacted very quickly and not only fended back the raiding party, but decided to go out and give them a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. So sit back, slap a like on the video, and let's go. Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to Gekko Gaming. We were attacked. That is right. One of these days, Hot with a Zero decided that they just want to come plunder some resources out of GG4, which was completely unacceptable. The funny thing is, after all this was done, they tried to hold on to a very high horse of, oh, we should have taken care of this diplomatically. We would have kicked any member who came to attack you. Homies, your leader was in the raiding party. Your leader. You're not going to kick your leader, right? So why on earth would we take care of this diplomatically? For an alliance that used to burn people in Nebula 14 for scouting one of your members, you have the audacity to tell us we shouldn't reply to your aggression. Now, unfortunately, while recording this, a couple of things happened. First and foremost, my tablet died mid-recording, which killed a bunch of the footage. And on top of that, I didn't really know how to record this game just yet. I was coordinating in chat and all these things. So some of this is the best footage that I got essentially of our attack on Hot. Once they came into GG4's headquarters, they tried to plunder a few cities and a few spaceports, and they did successfully. At that stage, we reacted, defended our spaceports, and pushed them away from our Alliance HQ. It did not end with that. It was time to fight back. A bunch of our folks teleported into the Hot headquarters and decided to give them a taste of their own medicine. In the beginning, there were a few of us hunting primarily these gatherers around the nebula and catching anyone off guard for some easy, fun kills. But as they started reacting, we knew that it was time for us to get together and start attacking the main objectives. Now, what you should know about this game is, number one, swarming is insanely overpowered. Rallying is pretty much pointless. And number two, one of the cool things about this game is that if you have fleets flying from one place to another, as soon as they get into a fight, they will instantly stop to fight. And so what these guys did is they just straight up camped the area in which two different star systems connected. That's the green arrow right where that I guess I am hiding it right now. And they essentially waited for some of our peeps to come back from that extra star system like Rico did right here. And they just hit him, stopped him in his tracks, and then swarmed him together. This is a very effective tactic to stop reinforcements from going into places, from stopping in general fleets from flying from one place to another. They hit us with a decent force of 12 million, 13 million fleets, but we were, having a little bit of a stretch of our legs. We didn't even have all of our folks out and ready to go. But once they did slowly start showing up and we started coordinating, things got a little interesting. From them having a standoff with us, and us slowly pushing into them, realizing, oh, damn, there's a bit more of them than there is us right now. And next thing you know, Focht, the leader, gets attacked as well. Now, they tried to reinforce them as much as they could. We made a lot of mistakes along the way by not stopping the reinforcements from coming in with a secondary fleet of anyone. There's people here with 2-3 fleets, and you cannot hit the one target with multiple fleets. So the idea for the best possible scenario is the biggest fleet attacks the target, and then the side fleets stop reinforcements from coming in. That is in general how you want to be fighting in this game. In this game, there's a clear advantage to the defenders over the aggressors, and they just realized at some point, there's a lot of these guys and not that many of us online right now. Maybe this was not a good idea. Now, obviously, we went for the easy hits. Anyone who wasn't bubbled got, well, most of people who weren't bubbled got hit. We went to plunder resources and we had a lot of fun. Our first target was the leader nonetheless. We brought a good amount of power onto him. He had 2.3 million fleets, and then he kept getting reinforced, I believe, all the way up to at some point like 7 or 8 million. But our fleets held 13 plus million strong and even got stronger as time went by. And while they kept reinforcing him nonstop, again, our fleets kept coming in, and slowly and steadily, at some point, it seemed like we were doing really bad until some of our bigger players stepped in. And next thing you know, we're at 12 and 13 against 7 and 8 million. And this guy just took a hit. This alliance took a total loss of about 40 million power, and they vowed for revenge, which is actually hilariously funny. They are the aggressors. They attack us. We react, and now they want war. It's a mix of a little bit of ego. It's a mix of a little bit of thinking you can do whatever you want in a nebula without there being any consequences. And it's indeed one of the biggest alliances in the nebula, the one that was for a long time by far the strongest one. But the GG family has grown strong, and we will protect our own and defend our own and attack you right back if it comes to having to. We got into their HQ and burned as much as we could. But as time went on, some of the other alliances in this nebula and some folks, including the other HOT, started talking to us about all these different things. And we decided as part of, our mission in Nebula 14, which is not to get to this point, to back off of these guys after taking about 40 million power away from them and some nice resources for our time. Overall, this wasn't a very profitable attack for them. And we enjoyed the barbecue, let out a little bit of aggression as these guys really asked for it. Now, the Galactic Gekko's number one concern has always been and will always be Nebula versus Nebula server wars and making sure Nebula 14 is the strongest nebula in the game. However, when you have an alliance that threatens consistently, that think they can do whatever they want to do, that hit you and when you hit them back declare war, like they wouldn't have done the same thing, like they wouldn't have protected their people, that tells us that the problem is not necessarily us, but potentially the arrogant other side who thinks that they can do whatever they want without there being consequences just because they were the strongest at some point in time. In this game, numbers play bigger roles than power does, and unfortunately for them, at this time, we had the most numbers, and B did a lot of damage. In here, Foulness got a little bit excited and hit a little ahead of time. He took a massive hit as he was hitting alone against a spaceport that was very well reinforced. But as time went on, our guys started noticing what the targets are, and we started coordinating targets a little bit better. And they just stopped reinforcing because there was no point. We were just completely overwhelming everything possible. And it just kept getting worse and worse at this point. I believe we burned about 10 of their spaceports, if not more than that, and had a lot of fun in the process. But it's unfortunate because this is going to destabilize Nebula 14. This is going to cause massive issues. And this showed one important thing. HOT think they can do whatever they want. HOT think they own this nebula. And HOT, no me interesa, like says Luffy, or I don't care. As long as they get what they want, whenever they want, and their ego is scratched, that's all that matters. And that didn't fly well with us. And at this point, they're not trying to talk it out or figure a diplomatic way out. While they told us to be diplomatically correct, they're going behind our backs and asking the nebula who wants to come against us and offering them territory and a bunch of other things. But guess what? The Galactic Geckos are not dumb. And while we were nice up to this point, well, you're about to find out what happens when you mess with us. I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I appreciate if you dropped a like on this video and subscribe down below. Stay tuned for more of this story, and I'll see you all sooner rather than later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have a good one. Peace.